What are stage combat training classes online or acting combat training for beginners? That's what we'll answer in today's video. Hi, my name is Dylan Wilson with CBT Stunt Alliance. Train hard, perform easy. We help actors, stunt performers, filmmakers, and content creators learn professional stunt training for film, TV, and live action performances. Before we get underway, if you're interested in launching a professional career in stunts or growing your current career to the next level, check out our professional stunt training classes at prostunttraining.com. You're learning how to do stunts, falls, tactical firearms training, sword fighting, exotic weapons, empty hand fighting, all sorts of stunts and more. Go to prostunttraining.com or click on the link below this video for more info. Okay, so we get a lot of questions about stage combat training, acting combat training, people who are, for beginners and everything. Some who are interested, they're actually in theater, or they wish to transition into film, or they wish to get into film and TV, yet they want to start training in something and they don't know where to go, how to go about doing it. So they always hear about stage combat training, stage combat. So we're going to share with you our thoughts and experiences on stage combat and how you can leverage it to accomplish your personal goals. All right, question one is, what is stage combat training or acting combat training? And what it is a specialized art form. That's what it is, an art form, or a performance art form, where people learn how to do fight choreography. The fight choreography tends to be fight choreography and we'll say falls as well, falls and reactions. So it's not just fighting and stuff. So they learn things like slapping each other, punching each other. Also it's very common to learn different sword styles. Things that they can use to perform specifically on stage, not for on camera. It's a world of difference. So that's what stage combat and acting combat training is. Question two, what's the difference between stage combat training and fighting for film and TV? Because there's two things. So you got stage combat training and what we refer to in the industry as fighting for film and TV, or fight choreography, yet specifically for film and TV. Well, with stage combat or acting combat training, you're playing to what is referred to as the fourth wall. That's the audience. So everything you do plays to, let's say if the fourth wall were that way, right? Everything that we would do has to play to that direction. And it doesn't matter what the other, 75% of directions, what they see, it's only that one direction, the fourth wall. And the fourth wall is the audience, sitting in their seats. Where fighting for camera, for film and TV, is completely different because the audience is 360 degrees, right? You have, 1 to 4 cameras around you. And so you have to be aware. So in the training, you have to develop a sixth sense for where the camera is. And so if you're in the midst of a fluid, fight scene or action sequence or something, you have to always be aware of where camera is, so you're always playing to camera. And this is, again, one of the fundamental differences between stage combat training and fighting for film and TV. I'm an experienced stunt coordinator. I've had plenty of actors come to me, in projects, and they say, "Oh, I've had stage combat training." I'm like, okay. And it's been my experience, it hasn't worked well for them transitioning to film and TV, right? And it may just be because they didn't practice very much either. Yet the people who said they were martial artists or had taken more so I would say the people who had taken fighting for film and TV were able to pick up the fighting for camera much easily. Yet maybe someone who practiced a lot more, with stage combat training would have been more proficient. It's been my experience over many years that most of the people who've done that and haven't done fighting for film and TV, they weren't able to pick it up. The other thing is, with stage combat and acting combat, there are two sides to it. One is the actual choreographed fighting portion, and the other is the acting, still instilling character and emotion. So because they're performing for a live audience, there's not going to be a bunch of different cuts and different angles and stuff of the fight. It's just one angle, right? It's a it's one long take when you're performing on stage, right? You can't call cut and start over again and get more coverage. So that's the other thing, is that the performances are crafted with that in mind. Where film and TV, it's choreographed, where even the camera angles and where the DP is going to be positioned is all part of the choreography. Well, this is a good thing though for stage combat training, because they emphasize more of incorporating your acting in the performance during the fight scene, where that is not often the case in fighting for film and TV. It's very common for stunt performers to be in the midst of a fight, and they develop this serious kind of face like this. And throughout the whole fight, this is pretty much where they are. Many of them tend not to be actors, and they have zero acting training. So they don't really, a lot of times, and if you watch even some of the fights, you'll see it. They'll just be punching. They get this serious look in their face, and that's what they're doing the whole time while they're fighting, as opposed to being able to deliver a compelling emotional performance. So this is one where it's good, because with stage combat training and acting combat training, because you'll learn how to incorporate your acting and deliver a much more compelling performance that connects with the audience, since the audience is right there and you're getting feedback in real time. Where on a film and TV set, there is no feedback. The only feedback is from the stunt coordinator and the director, that you can't really calibrate it with the audience. Something else is sometimes in stage combat training and acting combat training, they make contact. Again, the audience is there, right? So it's not always easy to sell strikes, so they just go ahead and make contact. Where in film and TV, we virtually never make contact. If we do, it's rare, and it's a stunt coordinator is telling them to do it, and it's usually to the body, and it's usually pads and stuff on the body. And it's because the fights tend to be a lot more involved in film and TV than on stage. The other thing is, with stage combat training, they have to make their own sound effects. They call it something called napping. Where they'll slap their thigh or their chest or something. So if they're slapping someone, and in film and TV, we have something called Foley. It's post-production. Sound is all added in post-production. It's not on set. We don't have sounds on set. So in post-production, I'll add all the sounds, in post. Yet when we're actually during principal photography, we're just throwing punches and stuff, and there are no sounds, right? Yet you can't do that with stage combat. With a live audience. So if they're slapping someone, it's right, or they'll slap their thigh, or like this, and they call this napping. And again, it's a skill where you're not going to use that at all in film and TV. That's purely for stage. And again, it's because they're performing and getting feedback in real time from the audience. So again, different skill sets, whether that's a great thing or not, I would say it isn't, because if you're thinking about going into film and TV, because you're never going to use that, and you may actually train in bad habits. Yeah, for theater, it's actually perfect. So the thing is, if you want to do theater only, stage combat training or acting combat training is for you, because it's theater. It's a live audience. Again, it's one take. Everything's in real time. If you want to do film and TV, fighting for camera, is what you want to learn. And there are workshops around, where you can take fighting for camera. And usually after even a few workshops, you have an understanding of it. Now, ideally, you find classes or instructors who can teach both. So if you find, because the one benefit with stunt combat training classes is that they're more plentiful than fighting for camera workshops, because so many universities in their part of their theater department will have a stunt combat, class or something, and it's just more popular. So you can find more of them, which is why a lot of people train in them, especially when they wish to go into film and TV, because you're just more of them around. So if you're even searching, you really want to do theater and you're thinking about doing film and TV, search and find for instructors who teach both, because there are some that do. There's some that they'll tell you on their website that they'll teach both, stage combat training, acting combat training, and for theater and film and TV, because they will be able to share with you the things even that I covered, a bunch of other stuff more obviously, on how to play to 1 camera, 2 camera, 3 or 4 camera shoots. So these are some of the key differences between stage combat training and fighting for film and TV. Question 3. What specific skills do you learn in stage combat or acting combat training? A lot of it tends to be European martial arts, where you may learn, single sword, rapier and dagger, quarterstaff, broadsword, knife, and even unarmed combat. Which is good if you don't know anything else, because it'll get you started and you'll have some type of understanding. Again, this is from the perspective of someone in film. The issue is that most productions don't call for those skill sets. So in other words, you're learning how to use rapier and dagger, and other single sword and stuff. Those styles, even fencing, rapiers and things. There's not many productions that call for it. Unless it's like a pirate movie, which they have some once in a while. Yet how often do you see pirate movies? So that style of fighting, and there's many excellent European martial arts styles without question. Yet specifically in stage combat, they tend to stick to just the swashbuckler, rapier and dagger type thing, and single sword with a lot of the schools. And it just isn't a lot of demand for that outside of theater. Look at what's on television and what's in movie theaters. It's not really what most productions want. So in film and TV, it's still a lot of it's unarmed combat too, yet it's more stylized. That's why it's better if you're training in some style of martial arts, some type of striking art, whether it's Muay Thai or Capoeira, one of the many, American kickboxing, Kung Fu, different styles like that, karate, that teach you how to strike and everything. And, the same thing with weapons, learning different styles of weapons, whether, again, it could be one of the many styles of African martial arts. They have a lot of the weapons, bladed arts, swords and spears and such, or the Asian martial arts, even Filipino martial arts. These things are more in demand across the board, not just in film and TV, even in theater as well. Because if you have a foundation in these styles and everything I mentioned, they are more applicable to theater than the other way around. So everything I mentioned works not only in film and TV, but also theatrically. Whereas the European martial arts, as taught for stage combat, purely for stage combat, and they're very stylized in that how many productions are going to call for the use of a rapier and dagger, right? So it's it's still a plus, if you want to get started, it gives you a foundation, and that's really what it is. Because there's so many more of them available, you can learn how to use a sword, how to use a dagger, because you may not know how to use that. The fact that you learn how to use a broadsword or use a quarterstaff, it gives you something, if you practice, right? And that's the main thing. I'd say that's probably one of the best training things you need to add to your skill set, is you have to keep practicing. As I mentioned earlier, a lot of the people that we've encountered who had stage combat training were not good because they never really practiced, right? Where the people who trained in fighting for camera tend to practice more, right? And so their skills were sharper. So those are just some of the skills that you usually get with stage combat training and acting combat training. And again, if you're going to do this, you got to make sure you set a schedule of practice to maintain the skills that you learn. Question 4. Can you effectively learn stage combat or acting combat training online? The answer is a resounding yes. Especially because of the pandemic, many people started turning to online classes to learn. And what they found that it's much easier as they eliminate travel time, tolls, gas, parking. And you're just literally focused on being able to train, and you just learn so much more. Plus they're in a comfortable environment, their home or your backyard or something, where they can learn and not be concerned about all the other things that you're concerned about when you have to travel to a place. One of the other cool things is that oftentimes you can even earn a certification, depending on where you go, based on the amount of hours that you train. So oftentimes around 30 hours, give or take. And you can get a basic certification as well, which is good for your career, because when you're talking to productions, whether they're theater, so a producer in theater or production in film and TV, it does count. That does mean something, not to stunt coordinators, yet to producers and directors, it does mean something when you can send in a certification or certificate saying that you've had, this organization certifies that you've had this type of training. It does mean something. Also, the only issue though when you're doing it is having a practice partner. So there are several ways you can go about addressing that, and one is literally you can practice with people on Zoom, right, on or WhatsApp or something. As long as you can see them, you can throw punches and stuff at them, and they can just react. If they throw punches on their screen and you just react to it. So the people that you meet, as long as you have a way of meeting other people in the class, that's how you get your training partners. You don't have to always be there in person to practice it. Just you see a punch coming across the screen, you just react to it. You see kicks and other stuff too, so you can actually get good training that way. Plus, you can use we call them stunt dummies, fighting dummies and stuff. There's easy ways you can improvise those to train with, so you can get good training regardless of where you are in the world with stunt combat training classes online. The other thing is there are even books that you can buy on stage combat training, and they'll have illustrations where they break down step by step, what to do. The only downside with that, and the books aren't very much either. They probably cost like 20 to $50 on average, for the books. The only downside is it's not as easy learning from a book because it's a static page, it doesn't move. You got to turn the page and then you see this, and in one picture the person is doing this, and the next picture the person is doing that, and it may not be as easy. So video is definitely much easier to learn from. So the cost of the books, like we said, were like 20 to $50. The actual cost for the stage combat classes vary. It can be anywhere from $26 per hour for a group workshop. So you might have like 10, 15 people in there, and they're all paying $26, to $250 for maybe a 2-day class, like a Saturday and Sunday type thing, or even more. Like they may have a curriculum that spans several months, and they're hundreds of dollars for them. So you just have to check around and find out what works best for you. Yet all are affordable, especially if it's something that you really feel in your heart that you want to do. Now, another option for you is that we even provide professional stunt stage combat training and acting combat training, both for people who want to be professional stunt performers for film and TV, and even people who wish to be in theater or do both, which a lot of actors tend to do. They always have something going if they're either on booking something on film or TV or even theater. And our classes are very popular. I myself am a experienced stunt coordinator, second unit director. So the classes that we teach, you get that perspective. So everything you learn works perfectly for any type of shoot that you're going to be on. The classes are online. They're video pre-recorded videos where we break down step by step what to do. Unlike in a live class, the instructor teaches it and you pretty much get it. And if you don't, you might be able to ask 1 or 2 questions. If you still don't get it, then they got to move on with the class because they're teaching 15 other people other than you, right? The great thing is with the videos, you can just rewind them. And if you need to look at it 20 times to get it, no one's upset with you. You don't get on anybody's nerves, right? You don't even feel squeamish for asking. You just rewind the thing. And so all the things all the techniques and things are thoroughly explained and broken down, and everyone loves them. Plus, with our online training, our classes, you get a certification as well. You have to pass an online quiz that's in our it's called the CBT Stunt Alliance Online Action University, and you pass an online quiz with each course that you take, and then there's a video final exam where you actually record with your camera phone the things that you learn in the class, and we grade you. And once you pass, then we actually issue a certification, and we actually put you in one of our directories as well. So production can go right to our directory and verify your credentials. The other thing which makes the training really good and singular is that we provide ongoing support. So there's our private online social community. So you get to network with a bunch of hundreds of other people around, we're actually thousands at this point, from around the world who have also taken the classes, and that's where you get your training partners. Sometimes it may be in a local area, you can meet up with them and train, or you just set up times like again on Zoom or Facebook or something, FaceTime, and you can practice. right? And also, when you have questions, you can upload videos and say, hey, how's my form look? And we say, okay, turn your foot this way, move your hand like that. And you have the ongoing support of experienced stunt coordinators and fight choreographers helping you. Plus, you get premium email support. So if you ever have questions, you just email them in and you have somebody answering questions for you all the time. So you're not in it alone. That's one of the things with some of the stunt combat training online, is that it's just like essentially like a DVD, and that's it. With ours, we know that you're going to need this support, especially as you're getting going, and all these things are included. And our classes start at just $99. That's it, $99, and we're talking 4 to 6 months worth of training, all pre-recorded in there, and you progress at your own rate, you know. And we designed it to be a resource to last throughout your entire career, because there's so much stuff in there. You may not need it for 6 months. It is there. 2 years from now, you got a role coming up you're auditioning for. It's there. You know, we know what you need, and so that's how we built it. Make sure you like this video and smash that subscribe button so you don't miss out on any future content. And if you have some other tips that you like to add, or even if you have some ideas you'd like for us to cover in future videos, leave them in the comments below. Also, sign up for our Pro Tips email newsletter to get professional stunt training tips in your inbox. Lastly, if you'd like more information on our Pro Stunt training classes, go to prostunttraining.com or simply click on the link below this video. Prepare to have your mind blown. Again, my name's Dylan Wilson with CBT Stunt Alliance. Train hard, perform easy. Don't miss our next video where we share another pro stunt training tip. See you next video.